So I bet a year ago you didn't think a whole lot about what Russia was up to, and all of a sudden it's on the front page of every paper every day. U.S.-Russia relations, now considered one of the most important issues in this country. Certainly, when Trump becomes president later this month, they will be center stage on his plate. Former U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Ambassador John Bolton, has been thinking an awful lot about this, our relationship with Moscow. He says it may change, it may have to change. He joins us now in studio. Ambassador, great to see you.
Glad to be with you.
So you're skeptical that these sanctions are enough, the ones that President Obama has just imposed on Russia, and your recommendation is, I think I'm quoting you correctly, we need to make the Russians feel pain. What would be the point of that?
The point of that is to get to the place we want to be, where this kind of interference and hacking that the Chinese and others have been engaged in isn't normal activity. And to do that, you need structures of deterrence that tell these foreign intelligence services or their militaries that if you try and do this, it's going to cause you more trouble than you're going to get benefit from it. Because otherwise, we face the prospect that this is going to continue, it's going to expand, and that's trouble for us. We're not ready for it. We don't have adequate defenses. We don't have adequate offenses at the moment.
So the North Koreans have been under, in effect, sanctions for 50 years, okay? And they're one of the poorest countries on the planet.
I'm not talking about economic sanctions.
No, but what's so interesting, though, is any kind of sanction. I mean, they have basically no contact with anybody but China, and yet they hack. They flooded the world with methamphetamine with counterfeit $100 bills. I mean, they caused a lot of mischief, even though they're a pariah. So why would it work with Russia?
Well, because the theory is that they need to understand that we're simply not going to sit back and allow this to happen. And unfortunately, their experience over the past years is precisely that is what will happen. We don't see either evidence or commentary from the administration on what they've done in response not only to earlier examples of Russian hacking, but, for example, China stealing what are estimated to be tens of millions of personnel records from the U.S. government. Indeed, what was leaked out of the administration was a long list of reasons why they can't make up their mind what to do. And I think when you fit what happens in cyberspace with the overall Obama worldview and foreign policy, it's an approach that very much limits the assertion of American interest and constantly ties us down in ways that others take advantage of. So I don't see cyber as being different from a range of other international threats that we faced inadequately for 8 years.
But, I mean, are we sure? I mean, we know that the Russians have hacked into all kinds of systems, including the White House computer system a couple of years ago. But are we absolutely positive that they were working to throw this election for Trump? Why would they do that? Trump has promised to make America more assertive, to rebuild our military. These are not goals the Russians share. Why would they want him to be president?
I said during the election, I thought, if anything, if the Russians wanted either of the two candidates to be elected, they'd much rather have Hillary Clinton, because it's more likely that she would carry forward Obama's policies, which are much to their satisfaction.
So this storyline makes no sense.
Well, unless part of the effort is to diminish overall trust and confidence in American institutions on the part of the American people, which this debate we've had for the past 3 months here, I think, has gone a long way to doing. A lot of people think that Trump won because the Russians changed the vote, which there's no evidence of.
I mean, isn't Paul Krugman doing that single-handedly without Putin's help?
He would qualify as a useful idiot in the Leninist version of this. But I think it's very important here. Let's face it, neither you nor I nor anybody watching this program that doesn't have the appropriate classification access really knows what the facts are. That's why, but so talk's cheap. That's why this meeting between the president-elect and the intelligence community, I think it's supposed to be this week, where they go over the data, is going to be so important. I haven't seen it. I have talked to senators who have seen it. They think it's pretty clear Russia was involved. Let's see what the president-elect says.
Yeah, I'm skeptical, but open-minded. Thanks a lot, Ambassador.
Thank you.
Great to see you.